Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It's Monday, March 11th. We got our coffee. So I thought I'd go a little bit more into inventory that we talked about yesterday. And I'm going to start putting together that video that Jason sent me a clip. Anybody else out there that has things that weird happened to them, I want to kind of do it all in one clip. So I'm going to give it a couple days. And I also want to talk about what most customers don't know about the average small engine repair shop. So stay with us. Alright, so welcome back. My name is Eric, and this is Monday on the weekday, Monday through Friday. And I'll usually throw a couple of videos out on the weekends, and I try to do a repair video hands-on or something in the shop during the week. It's pretty busy this week, and stuff out last week, I should say. And through the weekend, I got a couple extra videos out. It all depends on the amount of workload that's in the shop, how much time I can devote to YouTube, the business, finances, repairs. It goes on and on. One of the things that I'd like to say, and that is, too many of you guys are getting the comment gets deleted or never posts. And I'm wondering if it's too long. I wonder if the YouTube algorithm allows so many characters, and then if it goes over that character, it kicks. And what I would suggest personally is to open Notepad or Word, something that you can do simple writing, typing. Type out your response. Copy, go over onto YouTube, paste it in the comment. If it doesn't show up, try it again. If it doesn't show up again, try cutting it in half. Even if you have to have like one post and then start the second one continued, and break your post into two posts if you have that volume to say. And now, I know you, Amos, and you, Jason, tendency is you have a lot of added value that you add to the channel. And you can't just type it out in a couple words. I understand that. So I want the added value. So if that means you're going to put two posts, a continuation, try that. All I can hope is that it works. The only other option is send it to me and I will post it. I'll put it right in the description. Anyhow, so yesterday we were talking about, getting ready for the upcoming season and the supplies we need in stock, the inventory. And that's part of it. Each one of you is going to have a different needs for your own little shop. And for you guys that are do-it-yourselfers, I wouldn't buy way out ahead. I would buy just for the coming year of your equipment. If you're doing the oil changes, replacing plugs, just doing a good spring service on your summer equipment and putting your fall equipment away, your snow blowers and stuff. You don't need a lot of excess inventory sitting around. Because what I found is a lot of times people, when they get rid of, or when the machine isn't worth fixing anymore or monkeying with, they always have extra parts left over that are brand new, extra filters. And so I would just suggest to you to get it by the season. I wouldn't go out and buy 4 or 5 years down the road, because you may not have that piece of equipment 4 to 5 years down the road. But just the simple inventories are just the bare bones, okay, for you guys that are trying to run a shop. And like I said, each one of us is different. I may see a lot of Briggs in my area, V twins. So definitely I got to carry the Briggs filter. I see a lot of Kohlers. I don't see as much Kawasaki's and Hondas anymore. Although we do, and I keep them stocked. But I know, like with the Kohler and the Briggs, I order throughout the winter, and then I have them ready to roll. I've got 2 cases of each of those. I've got a case of the Kawasaki, and then I got some of the oddballs on the shelf from last year, like Onin, like Jason had mentioned. You know, there's other engines out there that take different stuff. And like I said, you can't base it anymore on what you spent last year and what you used last year. Because I think even though we have an election year coming up, I'm not foreseeing the economy do an uptick until after. So you're talking in the snowblower again. So don't be surprised if a lot of your customers are going to try doing it themselves this year. It is what it is, folks. People are trying to save money wherever they can. And if that means crawling underneath their lawnmower and banging their hands and cutting them and, swearing under their breath or out loud, depending on where you live. And then developing that love-hate relationship with your equipment. And really understanding what it means to have us as a repair shop fix it for them. Or do the simple service for them. So I'm not going to foresee an uptick in customers this year compared to last year. Last year was pretty dismal. There was hardly anything throughout the winter. But I think we're going to see it last a while longer until our customer base, till our fellow Americans feel comfortable and have a little more disposable income. That's just facing the facts. Yeah. Tuck it when it's doing good and you go lean when it's not. It's a constant battle for shops. Especially ones that have been in business for 40, 50 years. Because they're on the verge of saying, do I give up or do I stay in? Because I'll be honest with you, when I got done with payroll and everything, I was in the red for the winter. Yeah. Because there wasn't enough income coming in to cover the cost of going out. And a lot of times, if you're the shop owner and you have employees, they don't understand the added expense of what goes on when it comes to payroll. Or taxes, or business insurance, workman's comp. The list goes on and on. There's somebody there with their hand out wanting our money. I will be surprised if there's very few shop owners that are independently wealthy. Now, I will not be surprised if a lot of shop owners, the older ones, have their property, the building bought and paid for, or the inventory bought and paid for, everything on the property bought and paid for. But that's where their life savings is. It's tied up in the building, inventories, and equipment. It's not sitting in a 401k. It's not sitting on the stock market. It's not investing in gold or silver. They've invested in themselves. And they've grown their business slow, incremental, instead of way up and then way down. Because what I've found in life is anything that comes easy and fast leaves easy and fast. You need to put your blood, sweat, and tears into it and make it work. And it does require a lot of time. So that's going to bring us to the next part of the video that I was talking about, and that is what most customers don't realize about repair shops. And I'm going to say assume, and not all repair shops. But I think that your basic mom and pop shops. What's the biggest thing that a customer doesn't realize? Number one, the biggie is trying to get their piece of equipment fixed. And if they billed you for actual time, it would be more than what the piece of equipment was worth. So what did that shop owner do? Shop owner ate the labor and got it down to where it's manageable. I have to do that constantly on a daily basis. I am the one that does the billing, and I'm the one that basically goes over the bill with the customer. And I know most of my customers. And I'll tell you, the bulk of them are concerned about money this year and last year. So it's kind of a balancing act when it comes to a shop owner. Now, if you're a franchise or, a bigger dealer, you're probably not doing what the rest of us are. And that is, if we look at something and it took 3 hours to fix it, and when the actual issue with it should have only taken an hour, but you ended up taking more because you had to tear everything apart just to get at that part fixed. I'm not going to burden you with that 3 hours. I'm going to take it down to a more manageable. I still have to pay my employee. I still have to cover all the shop expenses. But I don't want to give my customer a bill for 120 plus parts for a 10-year-old weed trimmer. Example. See, that's why I do a lot of the weed trimmers, chainsaws, and all that personally. Because if it takes a little more time, I'm taking it away from my time, not where I'm paying somebody to do it. I'm doing it. And when I look at the customer's bills, I'm like, I can't justify charging my customer that much money. And that's the theme of a lot of small engine repair shops that are mom and pops, is you're not getting the actual bill of what it costs to fix that unit. I guarantee it. What you're getting is a cut up version. And that is, the shop owner has to reconcile it to where he knows that it's doable for you. And I know my customers. I know each and every one of them. And our goal is to try to get our customers' equipment fixed, serviced, greased, out the door as quickly as possible, and try to save them money in the process. If I have a chainsaw and I'm working on it 6 hours in, you're not going to bill that customer 6 hours and you still haven't found the problem, are you? No, you can't. So that's one of the biggest things most customers don't realize is that most of your mom and pops are not billing actual hours. That owner is cutting you a break, and he's eating any additional labor on that repair. The other thing most customers probably don't know is that most shop owners are out to help their customer. They're not out to get rich off a customer or rape a customer. They want a fair and equitable transaction and have you as a customer. Period. And we listen. Sometimes to stuff that has nothing to do with your small engine. We become social workers, therapists. And I want to know more about my customer than just simply somebody dropping off a chainsaw with a phone number and a name. But that's just how I am. That's how most of your older mom and pops are. We are interested in you, in who you are, what you do, how you're doing, how your family is doing. A lot of your bigger ones, I don't care. You're just a number, folks. And a means to an end. Where we are, it's kind of like going to if you've ever done this, go to a nurse practitioner instead of going to a PA or a doctor. Most nurse practitioners are more interested in the whole you, your mental health, your physical health, family, dynamics, all this stuff, home life. Most PAs and doctors aren't. They're just kind of, everything is black or white. They don't have that bedside manner. And that's where a lot of bigger shops have come in and set up. Or mom and pops got turned into a bigger shop of where the customer no longer is a friend. It's just a means to keep the business open. And I can use an example. I have a friend, Dick, and he took his Yamaha four-wheeler down to the local Yamaha dealership. And it's a pretty good sized dealership. And he said he couldn't get it to run right. And he thought it was still under warranty. Because it was fairly new, he just bought it. So he took it back to them. $700 later, all they basically did was replace his battery. Now, what in the world does $700 equate to? Okay, we figured out it's the battery is the issue. So let's put a new battery in it, problem solved. But it wasn't solved. It was a charging problem. Was the issue, wasn't the battery. We fixed it for a couple $100. Dick never went back to that dealership because he felt like, less than. And when he left our shop and we showed him where it was a pickup in the stator. When we showed him that, and we always show our customers the parts that we've swapped out so they could physically see it, and do you want it or not? We're going to throw it onto the scrap pile. Most customers don't want it, but they appreciate the fact that you showed them so they know you did do something. But you're not going to get that family type atmosphere out of the bigger dealerships. If you stick with the mom and pops, the small guys, their livelihood is based on how you're doing. So of course they're going to be more interested in what you're doing and how you're doing. And if they meet you down at the local grocery store, like I do a lot of my customers, we're on a first name basis. It's not, oh, I remember that guy who was in the shop the other day. No, I know exactly who it is. And I will stop and take time to visit with them. And a lot of times that's where I meet their family. And I get introduced as, oh, this is our repair guy. The repair guy. So that's just one other thing that a lot of customers don't know about the smaller shops. We're in it for the long haul. We're in it to keep our customers happy. So I'm going to wrap this up. You don't need a lot of inventory to start. You know better than anybody what you need on the shelf. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, buy it just for the year. And for you guys that are listening that are dealing with a small engine repair shop, the mom and pop, you probably already knew that we care more about you in the long run, because you are, if you're doing well, then we're going to do well. You're not a one-off. And a one-off is, I get your money and you never come back. I'd be out of business by now if I did one-offs. The area is not big enough. And the old saying goes, bad news travels faster than good, right? And bulk of our business is from returning customers giving us a review or telling their neighbor or family about us. Well, you guys have a great Monday starting of the week. I know we done lost an hour of sleep. I had to get up at 3 o'clock old time or 4 o'clock new time. And me and the dogs aren't quite ready for that. Or it's going to take us a few days to get adjusted. So, with the comments, if you find that you post long comments, if you could try what I had said about just copying and pasting it, and then breaking it up into a couple posts back to back, I'm curious if that will work. Alright guys, you guys have a great day.